It's like, oh, that's like, I always felt like you know, you never know. You never, when it's coming from your own mind, you're like, is this me? Is this my unhealed shit? Or is this, because that comes out too. And sometimes it's hard to tell, like, is this a part of me that's not healed yet? Or is this something I'm channeling? So I don't know. Now I'm fine. I've found throughout the years that like, if it's that eloquent wording and if it's light and if it's very loving in how it's written, it's spirit. But if it's like, if there's any hint of any negative emotion or anything, that's when it's like, okay, that's like something unhealed trying just to come to the surface. And then I realized like, oh, I'm supposed to heal myself as a guide. And I'm sure you find that too. So like now if I channel something and I find out like this is just from like an unhealed part of myself, it's like, oh, because I'm supposed to go into it and work through it.
Oh, yes. Yes. I love that you said that too. Cause I had asked you ahead of time, like what we would talk about. And, you were like, I might ask you how you healed yourself and everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like I wish I could say I'm like this ethereal goddess floating in the clouds, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo. But I think I'm always going to be working on healing things. And, you know.
Oh, we always will. Yeah. We're going to be healing our entire lives.
Learning.
Everybody is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're here for. That's what life is all about. You're really here to learn and to grow. And that's healing, you know. And it took me into my 30s to really realize that. But because society teaches us otherwise. It's, you know, society teaches us we're here just to gain material wealth, gain fame, gain, you know, something that looks good to people, but it's never about like what's going on within you. And now I'm like, life isn't about going into your pain and like really like sorting through the pain and like working through the negative emotions and accepting parts of yourself you don't love, you know, and all that stuff. But every time I do it, and you probably find this too, every time I heal some layer of myself that I have like thrown away at some point, my gifts open up further.
Yes, and it improves my quality of life.
Yes.
It makes life richer and more enjoyable as I get it. And then I can help other people.
Yeah, then you
know?
see your people coming, you're like, I just healed that. Like you probably get this too. I always attract people that I heal something and then people with that issue come in to see me.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is all part of the plan. Like I had to go on and heal this deep thing because there are like 5 people that need somebody to give them an answer right now. And I just figured it out. I just solved the Rubik's Cube on it, so now I can do it for them.
And it's like that cosmic design is mind-blowing. Like,
yes.
Oh, it's like, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's so cool. And you're like, oh, I know why you're coming to me. Oh, great. Okay. And it's it feels so good. It's just like a healthy, loving exchange of energy too, to share that.
Oh my God, it feels so good. Because when you help somebody with like what they're stuck on, I feel like that's where like, I don't know, it does something for you. I don't know what it is, but like you feel connected to everybody.
Yes.
Like the universe or something. Like I'm connected to everyone now.
Yeah.
You know?
Like that's how it's supposed to. I think that's the closest to a utopia we can get.
I know. I hope so too.
Helping each other.
But that's why I love working as like a tarot reader. You know, I know you do too. Because like we help when you do that for somebody, you're like, oh, yay. Because it all goes hand in hand with healing. Like even if we're not, you know, even if we're not doing counseling work, even if we're just doing like a reading for somebody, you're still helping them process something they're going through.
Yeah.
And they're just looking for an answer somewhere. And I feel like you can get answers at any time from any given source. Like sometimes you never know where you're going to get an answer. Sometimes you could talk to a stranger and they give you the answer to a question you had. Yeah. You never know.
Gosh, you're so right. And like they could be saying something casually in passing and you're like, oh,
yeah,
that was a whole moment. Gosh, this conversation is amazing. I'm having so much fun.
Me too.
But the main, before I lose it, the main way, like I guess the first time I had like a healing experience, I kept doing over a series of weeks that meditation. And I would imagine, I ran my energy a lot and I've been meditating for like an hour, a couple hours. And I thought of my happy thought the way I was taught, like that thought that I just felt like as happy as a kid, like uninhibited, just pure joy and energy. And I would hold on to that, and then I would send loving kindness to people in my family and close friends. And I remember one day meditating. I'd been practicing this for weeks. I don't know how I remembered people who were my mom's acquaintances from when I was a kid. I was going all the way back and said, everyone loving kindness, everyone. And someone told me afterwards that what happened was like my gifts opened up, and because I was healing myself and forgiving. And I didn't really quite realize that, you know, But when I came out of that meditation, I had been meditating for hours. Carla, to this day, I'll never forget it because it was like I had 10 cups of coffee or an energy drink, but with no jitters. And I didn't feel crazy. It was like I had all this energy and it blew my mind. And I remembered telling my mom, I was like, wow. So my mom said she remembers this to this day because this was before we got into anything spiritual. And she was just kind of looking at me. She said she remembers to this day that I was like, oh, this is why people meditate. Wow. Wow. It blew my mind. Yeah. And I was like, why do people drink or do drugs when they can meditate?
Yeah.
Because it blew my mind. And it's not like that every time I meditate. And actually, I don't think I've ever had an experience quite like that ever again. It was amazing, but it opened things up for me and blew my mind. And then some of the messages I was channeling were healing for me. And so I wonder, like, was I channeling a guide? I don't know. But yeah, there's that. And so that's kind of like that's a story I like to share because that's like my really first super spiritual experience that I feel like really blew my mind and opened me up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's amazing.
As far as healing goes. And yeah.
Those ones are always profound. Mine was when I was 12. I got
12?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're so young.
I was a kid. I went through a hard time and I was just like, I don't know how I knew how to do this. I really think in a past life I like did this or something.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I just need to lay on the floor in my bedroom. Like, I'm just gonna lay here and just like pray for like somebody to come through. And I would think of like my like ancestors. I'd be like, can you guys come through and like give me something? Like, I got really like specific. I'm like, just give me something to pull me out of this mindset or this mood and like help me feel good about whatever I'm going on right now. And I just would like lay there and just like clear my mind. I don't know how I knew to do this. And I would just put on music, clear my mind, and just be like, come through. And I looked like, just splayed out in my bedroom on the floor. Yeah. And I got a visual, and at the time I didn't know what it meant. It pulled me out of the funk I was in, but it was like I was in a limo in New York City with like girlfriends, and we were dressed up and we were going to a nightclub and we were like cheering through the roof, like kind of like Sex and the City style.
Yeah.
Going through Times Square.
Oh my God.
And I just felt so happy after. And I was like,
awesome.
And I didn't know what it meant. But then I got into college in New York City. And one night I was out and we were, then, you go with promoters will get limos. You dress up because that's how they make money and all this stuff. So we were like drinking in the limo with this promoter. And we were going to the Lower East Side. And I just had this moment. I'm like, this was that image. Like, it was like a movie clip I saw. And I'm like, this happened.
Oh my, okay. Whoa. When you were 12.
I was 12.
And this happened in college.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. That absolutely blows my mind. And you were 12 and you were seeing, that's beautiful. And your intention was to make a connect. What was your intention again?
Just to pull myself out of a really bad headspace I was in.
It was like your higher self was showing you, look what you have to look forward to.
Yeah.
Don't sweat it.
I felt good. And I connected to my ancestors. They're like, here you go. Like, here's something. But I didn't know what it meant. I just kept feeling like, I don't know what this means. It makes me feel good. Anytime I started to go like dive lower again, I would just think about that and it would pull me out of it all through high school. And I'm like, what is this? And then that happened. I'm like, oh, because that was a premonition. It was like, don't worry, you're going to have this really cool moment to look forward to.
That's cool.
That was, it was mind blowing.
And so loving because that's something that encouraged you, I think the experiences like that are wild. I haven't had an experience like that. But after that one time meditating, it wasn't like that, but like people started emailing and calling and writing, and I got a couple letters, and it was like people I had sent loving kindness to were like, how have you been? Aww. And so it made me, it's interesting because to your point, your story, it's like, I was not in a good, I wasn't feeling really good about myself. So it's interesting how like when you're feeling low, like you have a spiritually significant experience that kind of puts you on your next path and opens up your gifts more. Cause like you were feeling down, your adorable 12-year-old psychic Carla self, just having casual premonitions. Cause spirit was like, no, don't feel down. You're about to have a blast like Sex and the City of New York. Don't worry. And then I got these loving messages from people I sent loving kindness to, and I was not feeling very loved, I just feel like kumbaya. I'm going to bear hug you after this.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I love you, girl. Thank you for sharing that story with me. I love that.
Yeah. And like I had ones in college because then I was like, what else can I get? So I got two about, about Lindsay, and that's like, my partner. So it was like one was the first one I saw was like it was right after I went through a breakup. I went through a breakup when I was 19. The premonition came true when I was 19, and then later I went through a breakup when I was 19. And I was really sad about it. And I was like, okay, like how do I get through this? And again, I just like knew to just kind of zone out. I was on a bus. Actually, not thinking about it, I was on a bus. I don't know what it is about buses, but I was zoned out and I was just like, all right, what can I get here? And then I just saw like, I saw an image of a man playing the piano in complete darkness on stage with just a single blue light. And then I saw after people trying to talk to this person and he was like, nope, and like left. And then went home to like a dark apartment that had papers everywhere.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, and I mean, and I didn't know what that meant. I was like, okay, cool. Like a brooding musician. Like, what is that? But then it was,
yeah.
And then it was Lindsay. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Oh my gosh.
And then I got one that ended up being a photo.
I'm looking at you, Lindsay. I'm looking at you. That's awesome. She saw you.
I got one where, so then right after that, I also saw me in the backyard of a White House with a picket fence, and I was hugging a golden retriever, and it looked like a photo. And I remember being like, okay, and I was like trying to figure it out. I'm like, well, I don't like the suburbs. Like, I don't want to live out of a city. Like, maybe I'll go to LA. Like, what is that? And then years later, we were in Lake Michigan, and I was playing with his family dogs, and Lindsay took a picture, and that picture was the picture. It was that image.
Oh my gosh, Carly, you need to write a book called Zoned Out. And then like your zoned out experiences. And then this is when it came to pass. That'd be so fun. Yeah, so never take your daydreams waiting in line at the grocery store for granted. Riding a bus on a bus ride. Never take those zone out moments for granted.
I know.
That's cool.
And that's why now I'm like, oh, you don't really need to take us. Because people always ask me like, can I use, a substance to like channel? Like, should I, smoke weed? Should I do ayahuasca? And I'm like, you can really just do it by yourself. And I think you get better messages that way too.
Yeah.
So people ask me, I'm like, just don't use anything. Be clear. Be completely, sober, clear, and just see what you get. It's all about, I think, just getting into that meditation in the first place. When you get good at just kind of like taking yourself out of your body kind of meditation, that's when you can really get stuff. But getting to that part is hard. I don't know how I know how to do that. I think I just did it in like a lot of like past lives or something.
That's what I was going to ask you. If you feel that when like, cause being so young and having the gifts that you have at such a young age, tapping into that, do you feel like maybe in your past lives you were a psychic as well?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I did something.
Yeah.
And I've seen for other people, like sometimes I'll see a past life for somebody and I'm like, oh, you learned how to do, like I did Reiki for a woman once and I saw in her last lifetime, she was like a Tibetan monk. And that was why she knew how to do certain things. And she came in to work in like she does something in like, with music festivals to like help people in that area that need like guidance or just a way to like get grounded in their energy. It was really interesting, but I've never seen it for myself.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to. I went in the cabaret lifestyle, which was great, but
next time we have one of our little hikes and we have girl spiritual chat.
Oh yeah.
Remind me, I want to tune in.
Okay. I want to know.
Cause like, how cool is that? I could just see you like as this cabaret performer, and come find me after the show, honey. I'll read your cards. Like, who knows? You know what I mean?
It's what I aspire to now.
That's too. So cool. Well, you are you are cool. You're right.
I did tarot readings at Waldorf Astoria for New Year's Eve, and I was like, this is perfect.
Oh my god!
It's not like I needed a long cigarette. You like one of those cigarette holders? And I just need to like sit down and have a drink. It was great. I loved it.
That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool.
So I had that. I was like, sit down. I'll read your cards.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my, you've come to the right place, darling. The name's Gala.
You have the best voice. I wish I could sound like that when I say it.
I love that voice. Her name is Lady Hotstone.
I love it. I love it.
My inspiration is from actually the Eight of Pentacles.
Oh.
Or excuse me, Nine of Pentacles. Because, she's so like, it's the tarot card where she's like in this gown and she has these gloves on and this elaborate bird. Like she's on her estate, enjoying the fruits of her labor,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Have you ever seen or you picked up your gifts?
Oh, where I got them?
Yeah, like past life or anything, or what your journey's been?
My mom is amazing, and I feel like she's just so like I always it's interesting because I always want readings from her, but it like has to be the perfect day, and and she doesn't really do it like she did before. But I would say I feel like if I'm more in touch, it's from my mom.
Okay.
But I did have one past life. I had a QHHT session, like a very long time ago, like maybe like 10 years ago, and that blew my mind. Like I didn't expect like to be bawling my eyes out because it was not in a bad way, in a therapeutic way. You see the life, and then you ask what the lesson was, and then you can kind of take that into your actual life right now. And like, you learn this lesson, remember, that's why this comes up. So it's healing. But I remember I did see something that was interesting from one of my lives that showed me that I was definitely into maybe some spiritual things that like were a no in that time. Like maybe that like there wasn't such an open-minded culture. And I went through some like a tough time with that. I remember it was like in this past life, like my husband wasn't feeling that, whatever I was interested in. Nothing bad, but it was interesting. So outside of that, and actually, I always thought like when I took that class with my mom, I thought, no, you have to be born a psychic or born intuitive, or like have a near death experience, or be like, yeah, basically really young and gifted, and this runs your. So I like really was like never planning on ever reading for anyone or anything. So my spiritual reality has definitely changed, because I humbly feel like I'm definitely not one of those folks who's it runs in their family, or I had near death experience or so. Yeah. But
I had the near death experience. That's probably where.
See, girl, at 12 years old, you had your gifts coming in.
Yeah.
But now I feel like, and I'm everyone is intuitive, and everyone, I think some people have psychic gifts dialed up more than others, but I think others can develop them. I still think they're there. Like when people say, I just had a gut feeling, they don't realize that's their intuition, or
100%.
Someone from my guardian angel was looking out for me, and I'm thinking probably quite literally, some stories. But I really didn't think I'd be able to do readings. I didn't take myself seriously in that way, but it was confirmation from other people. So I feel really humbled, because I'm like, that's amazing. Thank you, Spirit, for letting me do my little readings and help people and helping myself. Thank you. So yeah, it kind of blew my mind. And I like hearing more and more, like taking that class with you, and I like hearing more stories, since I've learned more of people that decided for their personal enrichment as a spiritual seeker, and because they want to live a better quality of life, they want to work on their healing and for their spiritual growth, like with good intentions, that they've taken intuitive development or healing courses or Reiki or whatever it is. And I think it's beautiful that more people are branching off into that, because I personally feel it's a natural part of who we are.
I do too.
That we're getting back, more people are connecting back to,
I think so too. I think there's been a big shift. I think it's slowly happening. We're realizing like, wait, just chasing external, circumstances and dreams and just making things look good on the surface doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really provide the answers. Like, you don't end up happy.
Yeah.
And that you really need to like go back into yourself. Yeah. And I think, COVID had a lot of negative things about it, but I think one positive aspect of it is it forced everyone to finally confront themselves at some point.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I don't want to speak to everyone's experience, but I've met a lot of people where they realize sitting with themselves, like, I really have to figure out what to do here. Like, I got to work on myself. And it's really cool to see that. And I like, a lot of people come to me because they're in a transformation. They're like, I know I'm changing. I don't know what, but like, I feel like it's happening. And it's so cool because like a lot of people are finally, I think it's just a self-awareness. Like, everyone's aware of like their life. People aren't just kind of like, dazed off or like tuning out anymore. I feel like people are more aware of their surroundings, people around them, themselves. And I think that's what's sparking it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like they should go together, but I think the more people are just aware of like their surroundings and the people around them and themselves, the more they're like, wait a minute, and then they start thinking, and then things they start
waking up.
Yeah, they're going through these spiritual awakenings, and that's really, I think, what a spiritual awakening is just becoming aware of yourself for the first time in this lifetime.
More conscious.
Yeah, like you're just like, wait a minute, like what is going on here? What am I doing? Like, how did I get here? You know, like you just finally start realizing, like, wait, kind of like going on autopilot through life, that's not working.
Yeah. Yeah, going on autopilot. Yes.
Because I think that's when people are like, I just have to chase money. I have to chase success, because they're on autopilot. So they're just like, I just have to look good to other people. And they're not thinking about anything in between. But as soon as you start to like snap out of that even a little bit, I think that's when your intuition opens. And that's when, because we all have gifts. Everyone on the planet has gifts. And that's when they first open up.
I love that. It's like the energy behind your intention. You start to realize that, you know, it's not just about wandering through life aimlessly. Yeah. You know,
you become aware of like your own existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's great. I hope you write a book one day too.
Well, thanks. I actually am thinking about doing that.
You need to.
I know I will. Yeah. I will. Yes, it's on my list.
You just reminded me, just speaking of like how awesome you are and like how you help people through changes. You, like, when I had my session with you, I didn't know I could do psychometry. I was nervous. Well, you had us guess what was in the bag, the envelope.
Oh yeah.
Like what object was in there. That blew my mind. I was like, Carla is an amazing teacher. Like you really blew my mind. I'm just like, as I'm talking to you, like you have so much knowledge, and I'm like, yeah, you really. Anyways, yeah, I know. I'm just like,
oh, thanks.
You really helped me like boost my gifts and my awareness. So thank you.
You're welcome. It's like, I feel like I'm here to help people wake up to that. Like when they're awakening, when they're going through spiritual awakening, it's like, okay, now here's your gifts. Like, yes, you are a medium. Here you go. So I don't know how to explain it, but it's cool. And then it's nice for me because then I have a resource, a plethora of people where I'm like, I just had this experience. Can you validate it as a medium or tell me anything on it? And I'll get like hints and clues from spirits that will validate it for me. So it's like a win-win, but it's so cool to watch everyone grow in their gifts, kind of find themselves too.
Yeah.
As their gifts develop, they're healing at the same rate.
Yeah.
And that's what's really cool about it.
Yeah. What was your most profound like psychic experience?
Oh man.
Or one of them. I'm sure there are a ton.
There's some.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, those premonitions were pretty big because I wasn't expecting it.
I'm like, that's huge. I don't know. I mean, wow.
Yeah,
that might take the cake.
Those ones were pretty big. I've had some mediumship ones that felt, they weren't necessarily, I don't know if they were profound, but the more profound ones would have been for myself.
Yeah.
To be honest. The ones for people, it was more like, oh wow, I'm really doing this. Cause like I had a clients come in that wanted me to do a mediumship reading. And even over TikTok, I've had some too.
Oh, your TikTok lives are cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
But like the profound ones they're more for myself, I think, because those ones are just like answers I've been searching for, so they feel profound to me.
Yeah.
You know, what may be profound to somebody else may not resonate with my journey, so it's hard for me to say, oh, that was a profound moment, because that could be life-changing for them, but for me, it's like something I already knew, or it's something that's not even on my path, so it goes right over my head, so it's hard to feel connected to what they're going through.
Yeah.
It's hard to connect to them just really being like, whoa, you know, but when it's for myself, that's when I'm like, wow, my whole psyche has changed.
Yeah, like you're like, okay, I expanded my awareness even more now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is real. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and that makes sense.
Those ones have been cool because I'll have like a couple ancestors come through and I can feel them around me, and I feel like an urge to get my laptop and start typing. And I'll type out like the theme of this lesson that I need to learn. And it'll be like bullet points, 5 pages long about all the parts of this lesson.
That's cool.
And then I'm like, and it will like blow my mind because I'm like, I did not even know that. And I've even had times where I'm like, they're like, all right, you have to change this belief system you have or this story. Here's where it came from. And I'll be shown a moment from when I was like really little and I don't even remember it. And then it's like, oh my God, that's where that came from. And it's like, I've actually felt myself like snap out of it. Like lifelong beliefs or stories, like literally I've snapped out of it because I'm just like, I can't believe that's where that even came from.
You're just healing yourself. Like it's like
doing soul retrievals on yourself.
I'm trying.
Sounds like that is cool.
It's cool. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if I can like teach other people how to do this soon.
Oh my God. I'll go to your class.
Okay.
That's really cool.
It's really cool. So, and sometimes when you just see where a really negative belief or story comes from in the first place, sometimes that just pulls you out of it. Cause there were a couple like really bad ones I had. And I'm like, I don't know where the hell this came from. And they're like, it's this moment at this age when you were like, I was like really little and I was like, oh my God. And it was like, as soon as I saw it, it was like everything just clicked in place. And it was like, I just snapped. It was literally felt like I snapped out of a trance.
That's
amazing. I was like, I feel like I was brainwashed before. Now I'm okay. Like it was weird. It was so cool.
That is so helpful. I hope you definitely have a class.
Thank you. I'll let you know when I do. Yeah,
that's so helpful to a lot of people too.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like sometimes we just will hear something when we're a kid and we'll take it in as a story about us and we actually walk around brainwashed. Because it's like as soon as you find that out and you see it and you snap out of it, I literally felt like I was like, deprogramming something that I didn't even know that I had programmed in the first place.
That is cool.
It was so cool.
Oh my God, that sounds like a whole workshop. Like
maybe
TED
I'll
Talk,
put together a class for that.
That's it's like soul retrieval on yourself. That's so powerful.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you. Yeah. That was pretty intense.
But have you had a profound experience?
I think the way you put that, like, it's more profound when it's like your personal spiritual experience. Yeah, outside of like confirmation when I'm feeling like, did I make this up? Oh no, I have confirmation. I didn't. This is real.
Yeah.
You know? I did. I think like some of the journeys I've done by myself have blown my mind on myself. The information that comes through that it blows my mind because I'm like, wow, like the things that I'm really interested in anything esoteric and I'm just really interested in personal growth and mysteries and like, it's just interesting. I would say like, one thing is like trying to think, I have a hard time, like I do this thing where I censor myself sometimes. So you're really helping me step out of my comfort zone and talk more. So I'm like, which one? No, that's too juicy. It's like, nobody cares. I can share it. One, I took a psychic development course with an awesome gal, Reiki practitioner and yoga instructor, Keisha Crawford, I think is her last name, in Atlanta. She's awesome. And I went home and I did the exercise that she taught me and I felt the energy in the room change. And I just asked if I was kind of like not paying this was like towards the beginning of my journey as well. And I was kind of like not really expecting anything. And I was like, all right. And I did the meditation. I was like, do I have a spirit guide or do I have a guardian angel? And it was like, yes. And I saw the words in my mind.
Oh yeah,
and the name, and it blew and I was like, whoa, and that blew my mind. And it was one of those moments where I was like, okay, just another friendly annual reminder that this is real.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And it just felt good, you know. It felt positive.
So I'm sorry we didn't get to tarot. I'm a chatty Cathy girl.
That's okay. This was great. No, thank you so much.
This was so much fun. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who's watching today. Nastassia's. Your information
below. Yes, you can find me at www.sunflowermoonrose.com and on Instagram at sunflower.moonrose or on TikTok at sunflowermoonrose. I do tarot, shamanic journeys, Zoom sessions. I'm also an esthetician, so I do virtual skincare consultations. You can shoot me a message or email at any point. I do tarot parties and I love to chat, obviously.
Thanks, Nastassia.
Thank you, Carla. Thanks. Love you, girl.
Love you too. All right.
That was I turned it off. Is that okay?